going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
With us now is George Papadopoulos, former Trump 2016 foreign policy advisor. And George, I don't know what's more troubling about that exchange, the fact that he couldn't get the word out, or the fact that he did and then laughed in that way afterwards. How about you?
Well, it's great to be with you, John. Look, kleptocracy is a pretty hard word to pronounce, I guess, but the president of the United States should have been able to pronounce the word, and clearly he is not involved, if you will, with his speeches. He clearly is not the mind behind whatever is written on these note cards or files that he's delivering in front of the American public in a very sensitive moment in American history, in which basically we have the potential of World War III, a open border, a raging pandemic, and a faltering economy, all simultaneously impacting the American workers. So I didn't think it was funny. I don't think anybody thought that President Biden should have been laughing at his own misgivings. But this is about a year and a half into this administration, and the shock level continues to escalate.
Yeah, you have to have serious questions about how the president is being handled. He was on a West Coast swing recently. Obviously, that contributed to his fatigue. And you wonder, can he just hold up to it? Are we watching the beginning of the end of the Biden administration? He was already a lame duck when he came in. It does seem like he's facing more pressure from the Democratic Party. And we have this poll from Harvard that shows that 67% of Americans, George, say that President Biden should be impeached if Hunter's corruption proves to be true. 60% say Hunter sold influence and access to his father. I mean, I know you have seen the information that's on Hunter Biden's laptop, these emails we keep talking about. I don't know how this doesn't wind up proving some corruption there, some contact, at least proving that Joe Biden has lied to us repeatedly about never talking to his son about his foreign business deals. I don't see how this ends well for Joe Biden.
At the current moment, we have incontrovertible evidence that the Biden administration's policies that were designed to basically prop up the economy, secure the border, and end the pandemic have all ended in abject failure. His foreign policy has been absolutely disastrous. And in many ways, I believe that this administration has sacrificed the American jobs, our national identity, and our standing in the world for liberal symbolism. Now, when it comes to impeachment, obviously, there's a very specific threshold that has to be met, including high crimes and misdemeanors. Of course, we've had numerous failed presidents, including on domestic policy and foreign policy, which were not impeached. However, when you're talking now about potential involvement by President Biden himself in some of the most unsavory business dealings with shady Chinese energy companies, Ukrainian politicians, this is where that threshold begins to get closer and closer to impeachment territory. And I think that's exactly why, now that information has been verified regarding this laptop and other various information regarding Hunter Biden's business dealings, you are seeing this reflected in the polling by the American public. So I think they're just basically waiting now for the mic to drop, for the information to be completely verified in a court of law. And should that happen very soon, I do believe you're going to see an impeachment should the Republicans take over in 2022.
That's a very big should. If they do take over, things are looking good now. We'll get a long time to go until November. George Papadopoulos, great to see you.
Thanks, John.